Passage number 18. Ready? Comments. Sir, it has not been possible for me to understand the significance of this resolution. Evidently, the idea of the leader of the opposition is that with reference to what is happening in Parliament, we should also take corresponding steps here. If only he looks into the number of corporations that we have here and also the boards, I am sure that he will come to the conclusion that such a committee is not necessary. As far as corporations are concerned, we have got only one corporation, namely the State Warehousing Corporation. It has got a very small activity. I do not think that a stage has arrived where matters have gone out of control. We have constituted the Electricity Board, the Housing Board, and the Khadi Board. The very idea of constituting these boards is that they should function as autonomous bodies to a certain extent so that they may not be weighed down by rules and procedures applicable to administrative departments of government. They will have to run as commercial undertakings. We must put proper persons there. If we find that any person is not a proper person, we may remove him. When we pass an act saying that there should be statutory corporations, they should be allowed to function in an autonomous manner. But once a corporation is formed, legislatures always have the temptation to interfere in their working. The working commercial corporations should be judged not from what is happening from day to day and who has been appointed. We have to review their working on the basis of the results produced at the end of the year. If they have gone wrong in the matter of producing results, or if we find that even though results have been produced, there has been gross discrimination or patronage with regard to the administration, then we have only to remove the concerned persons and put in proper persons. But once a committee is set up, the tendency for it is to pay into the various activities, whether a clerk should have been promoted as assistant and whether an assistant should have been given the chance of an act and section officer. With reference to these few boards and one corporation, we have got the estimates committee. The committee makes reports and we can consider them. Even during the budget discussion, it is open to us to consider the matter and lay down broad policies for their guidance. Therefore, there is no necessity at this stage to appoint a committee as far as these few activities are concerned. Then, mention was made about the other companies registered under the Indian Companies Act in which government had taken shares. We are only ordinary shareholders there. If our policy is that we should not contribute to the shares of these companies, that is quite a different thing. But when we take a policy decision for the purpose of promoting and encouraging these companies, we go there not with a superior authority as compared to any other ordinary shareholders. Government have got only as much right as any other ordinary shareholder has. As a shareholder, government do not have the right to ask for the scrutiny of the accounts or to look into the various aspects of the company administration. It will be beyond the scope of the rights and privileges of any shareholder. If we have a director on the board, then we can direct him to submit a report and we can look into it. With reference to cooperative organizations. They are all registered under the Registration Act. They are entitled to function as a corporate body, and unless we change the law, it is not open to the legislature to go and advise them or to look into the working of these organizations. We can discuss their working, whether the existing pattern or setup should be changed or not. But these societies having been set up to constitute a committee to look into their working and give them an advice as to what action should be taken is not proper. Even with reference to the big corporations which are set up in the public sector, we will have to get over the feeling that everything is going wrong and that we are not able to look into their working. Unless a certain amount of autonomy is given to them and they are allowed to function with a free hand, subject, of course, to action being taken later on. If anything goes wrong, they cannot prove a success. We cannot bring these industrial projects and commercial corporations under the rules and regulations of government. If we do not want any public sector concern to function, let us not have them. But if we want to have them, then we must allow them to function with a free hand. If we are suspicious about them, let us not have them at all. If anything goes wrong, it would be possible for us to take action to set right things. Stop.